Hello. Thank you for coming to my channel. Um, Before I start this video, I want to thank you for stopping by and watching my videos. And if you haven't subscribed yet, or liked or shared my channel, please do so. That would really help me out a lot to grow and bring you more content. I hope I'm being entertaining and informative in some way. And I just want to touch on topics that are of some relevance to both some of my passions, which include national security, of course, at the top of the list. Physical security. I've worked in many companies, even for the military, doing security. These are the things that really move me. I mean, I have other interests in life, but in this particular series of videos, I try to focus more on security management overall because that's what how I made my living for a long time. But I have some more new content also, and the accelerator. You see the alarm, the alarms, ambulance in distance. We're in DC. Welcome to DC. For my mindset accelerator and some of my other programs. If you're looking for a life reset, I want to a quick plug right now, but I have a new video for the Ikigai uh, teaching series, and it should be available by Friday. And today is St. Patrick's Day. I wore green earlier today, and it's allergy time. This time of year, I get bogged down by pretty severe allergy attacks. So um, today is the day I had like a 12-hour window in which to go over videos, start uploading, and feeling a little bit better before I could do this today. I was not shocked, but it's very sad how the influencers, these YouTubers who do live streaming on location, and uh, I'm seeing a lot more contacts from the public resulting in injury or even death. And in the case of a young lady in Japan who was murdered on live on camera, and I would say that was on the 11th. No, that was on the 10th of March, and very popular, I guess. I'm not going to go over how many followers she had, but the most important thing about the story is that many of her followers got a view into through the gates of hell and watched her murder live, and she wasn't able to resolve the attack, in any other way. Her assailant was a 42-year-old man who was a follower, and a lot of these relationships with especially with the women, um, in Korea or Japan, even China in particular, how they just basically are being trafficked in one way or another, or they do a type of blackmail, which is usually financial. It's either they work for someone else who holds them pretty much hostage and in a small apartment, just live streaming all day, where the person has very little choice but what to do it. And in this case, seems to be more prevalent is that there's usually financial relationship or exchange between the influencer and an admirer. And you see the age gap is pretty significant. And in a lot of these countries, there are many people who watch this content because they're socially isolated in some way, and these influencers are catching on. They have totally monetized their exploit, even if it's just going online to talk to people about something. You know what I'm doing right now, different. Like, I'm not asking you for money, but in this case, this is a person actually gets to meet one of the followers, and they engage in a relationship that has a financial um, angle to it. but it doesn't explain more beyond that. Hopefully, there will be more revealed about this case, but it's pretty straightforward that she had. And when you say borrowing, it's the woman had been. It could have been extorting money or just sweet talking the guy into coughing up money, and that's not atypical. It's a very uneven relationship, and one of the dangers of being online, not to go on and on about being online being a bad thing, but I just you taking a really serious chance on your own safety and security. And that's for anyone, but in particular for this video today, that I want to emphasize those who monetize their persona online and are subject to more people knowing who they are and where they are. And the knowing of who they are it's okay, but the knowing where you are is a problem. And that I could attribute to using geolocation for just to let people know, make the content more exciting uh, for a person versus let's just say an influencer, just like this young lady in Japan. She's just at a place where someone can recognize the area just by looking at the environment where the person on camera is, and this is a live stream, and all that person has to do is just hop in their car or hop on a bus or a train and go to the location, which is what happened in this case. Very few things could actually stop a person from achieving this. But geolocation is something that you really have to stay away from. The real-time reporting is different, I would say, it could work for a business. If you had, I know some small businesses that run food trucks, for example. We got tons of them off of 11th Street, off K Street here in DC. Whole plazas there are surrounded. They just circle. You just go into to one square block, and you see nothing but food trucks. And a lot of them are really savvy online. They have an online presence that's really good. They manage their social media really well, and they post what they're going to be, what their specials are for that day, what they're serving, exciting changes, a new location for where they're bringing their product that has kind of the same process. We're telling you where we're going to be at today. So does that mean that necessarily that someone will come out and instead of buying your food from the food truck, and I know I may be freaking out some of the people I've worked with before, if they're watching this, they'll freak out. Just be really mindful of your environment before you move there. Is that someone could easily just be casing that area for that particular purpose to rob that influencer or that person while they're on location. So filming on location poses a serious threat. It's done all the time, live reporting. And why? Because you want to get ahead of the next guy. And I get it. And some of us are tempted. Like I've gone on cruises, and I want to address travel here in a moment. I've gone on cruises where I know a lot of influencers, they did that full time. I had a travel channel for a little bit, which I'm not sure if I want to reopen, but I might. And I enjoyed just filming everything that I saw, the food that I tasted, and just post it after the fact. Because to me, first of all, reporting live with the really terrible Wi-Fi on board a cruise ship is just not worth it. And I normally don't carry a lot of equipment with me when I travel. I used to have a little bit of equipment, but it was really highly portable, small microphones, stuff like that, and tripods, things that are not sticking out like a sore thumb. But some of these folks, they carry really expensive equipment. They have a full commitment to what they're doing, and just equipment alone is worth money. So if they could become a target of a crime, a personal crime, for example, it would not be too hard because most people are watching and tracking. But how often does that happen? Perhaps not as much, but this is a time of uh, expanded knowledge and technology where anyone can access information at any time. And we should keep that in mind when we're traveling. And and people exploit data. Like I said, this murder of this influencer is not the first one. It has happened in Asia before. It might have been in Japan, another influencer, and was raped. And this is a few years back. And this is someone follow her on her social media presence and figured out by the location, but it was very cryptic. But the guy is really pretty advanced. This stuff you can do with technology. And he was able to extrapolate where she was, where he met her, and ended up carrying out a rape. So anything is possible if you, as long as you share where you are, exactly where you are, how much information you're given, and how is it necessary. But like the food truck, I don't want to scare you if you have a food truck. God bless you. You're out there taking tasty food to people and bringing variety to people's lives, and I totally appreciate it. But you should always be mindful as well of where you park the truck, and these things about personal security, how you handle your cash, do you do types of transactions you carry out, etc. All of that stuff you should be thinking about anyway before you out the door, you hop on that vehicle anyway, and head out to the next location where you're going to be serving the public. So life, these talkers, they have very little else to do. They have a full commitment to mitigating someone else's security measures. I just told you very briefly what you could be doing to mitigate an attack or a personal crime, to evade being a target, being a soft target. You make yourself a hard target, people can still see you and avail of themselves of your services uh, without you taking a huge risk. But there will be people out there doing just that. And not just when you're on location, live streaming, but also in the travel itself, the hotel, um, what kind of equipment you carry, how do you secure it, how much of a routine do you build while you are on that trip. And geolocation again is something that needs to be removed as you're still in that location. If you're traveling outside the country in particular, it's best to upload later on within a 12-hour window if you wanted to, or 24 hours. And instant gratification is something that technology, it feeds very quickly. And if you go to someone who's old school, they used to have to wait until you got home or the office to get a message on the answering machine. I know that I hated answering machines, um, or on an actual phone. You have to actually travel yourself physically to where a phone was located in order to make a phone call. It's so easy to reach out to someone, but it's also very easily for someone to follow us. So pictures you take and upload online carry of course metadata. It carries information about where you are, what time. Um, Even AI now can identify where you were, the background. It can analyze the picture. Do that all the time just to try to figure out where this big picture was taken, and tags, of course, and fitness trackers, just like what's happened with the young lady who was murdered by the Venezuelan guy, and she went out for a jog. Oh yes, in Georgia, a nursing student, and actually the tracking data from her smartwatch is what actually gave forensic uh, medicine their edge in certifying the time of death when she was being murdered. It's pretty gruesome stuff, but you can be tracking it in many ways, and I'm not going to go through them. I'm going to give you guys a freebie today I want you to download this PDF that I'm going to have included in the comments in the description section, and just kind of try to mitigate any threat. If you think that someone could be watching, you are being watched. I have people come to me all the time, and they're in awe of the possibility that how did no one someone knew that I did X, Y, and Z, and I told them, well, you live in a city, first of all. Even in a quiet neighborhood, someone is out there watching and listening and paying attention to what you're doing. Always assume that you are being watched, monitored in some way, or even followed. When you feel that it's too comfortable, then more than likely your instincts are telling you that you're picking up something from the environment that it doesn't quite sit right, and you should pay attention to that and do your best to navigate that situation. But you do navigate it before you get to where you're going, not trying to figure out a plan when you get there. Usually when things happen, it's too late in the game to figure out how to get out of it, whether it's an assault or being robbed. The thing that happened with Kim Kardashian a few years back, uh, and I'm not going to name the NFL players whose homes were invaded and robbed. Uh, Geolocation. More than likely, they know these guys. They go out and they play games. They're on the road. Someone who's making a movie or they're shooting on location, they know. So there's always someone watching, monitoring what people who are in the limelight, I would say, or in a public figure is doing. So the last thing you want to do is and I realize it's the nature of the game of being an influencer is to be visible and accessible. But at the same time, I feel that there should be some level of protection. Self-preservation should kick in, and we have to be able to leverage that gap between self-preservation, like I said, and being able to deliver a product to the public. So just be mindful of what you're posting, when you're posting it. Delay a post as much as you can. I'm not saying by days, but once you're out of the geographic area that you're reporting in, it should be most agreeable to an extent to not be there anymore. That way, someone is tracking you. Then at least they don't actually have the ability to reach out and actually be in the same area when you're there. And you should do an assessment before going anywhere, and that's done pretty. This is it's pretty widely practiced in corporations. Small companies don't do that. Individuals usually don't do that. One of the services I provide for my practice is I it's a simple service, and it's all included as part of an awareness that I have to help the client build and how they conduct themselves, meaning that we do an advanced research on how we examine the area we're going to be visiting, for example, and how we select a hotel, which room, what floor. It gets down to very small details, and it can be just as simple as that country has a high crime rate, and this is a list of crimes they have, and then you the right type of person that might be hit by that type of crime. You just want to be aware of that versus just going blindly thinking that the environment will adapt to you being there. We don't disrupt. We disrupt the environment, an environment we're not acquainted with when we travel. The environment receives us and it looks at us and it has us exactly where observers want us to be. And the more we share online, the more information they have to use against us when we're traveling. So I wanted to bring that up today. I'll go more in detail about doing an analysis of these home invasions, these homes that were robbed by. I think there was a gang of Chilean thieves that it's called crime. Yeah, it's a crime tourism. That's another interesting uh, topic for another time. Um, and if you're a celebrity watcher and you wanna be the person to effect that criminal activity, um, you know, it's amazing. You can have all the money in the world and build a place where it's really shielded from the public eye. It's You just can't move far away enough for someone not to find you. Not on this day and age. Technology affords that unless you have your own island when it's or a giant moat surrounding your property. There are ways of mitigating security. Only if someone stays at home watching your stuff while you're out doing the influencer stuff, or the football season, which is not the season right now. But these cases come back many years later and try to investigate. Um, and and for homeowners or for the influencers or the public figures, um, to to be caught in a situation that they're not expecting, even though they're in a position to be caught in it because they're so visible. But what about the rest of us that we were not necessarily in the public light as much and may not be widely recognized, and we can still stand just as vulnerable as the next person, just being on a social media or a platform like this one, and just showing face and a name and location. And I say that at DC all the time. um, I could be found with it. My name is pretty unique, so yeah, anyone can be found if someone really is motivated to find them. And the best course of action is not to give them enough to go on with. And that's just a moral lesson for today. I know I'm very quickly losing my voice, typical, but I think I got a few words in there before I start losing it completely. uh, St. Patty's Day, be safe out there. It's a beautiful day. We got allergies out here. I hate spring, but it is what it is. Just stay safe, and I'm going to be seeing you again soon. Don't forget, I have the presentation, a PDF for you as a gift. Just sign my form, and I want to get a mailing list, of course, like anyone else, and then I can alert you to other trainings and other videos I might be dropping on YouTube. I'm also on Rumble. If you were inclined to follow me on Rumble, I have a channel there as well, and Instagram. And I want to thank you again and encourage you to uh, just click like and subscribe to this channel and share it with someone else who's interested in these topics. And thank you one more time for stopping in to watch today. And stay safe out there. And I'll see you again soon.